At the heart of innovation, engineering meets purpose. From cleaner air to smarter mobility, filtration technology is shaping the future of industries worldwide. Global filtration leader Mann+Hummel strengthens its footprint in India with the launch of its largest global technology and innovation center outside of Germany in Tumkuru, a major step towards driving advanced engineering, digital innovation, and sustainable solutions from the heart of Karnataka. This state-of-the-art center unites cutting-edge research, digital engineering, and sustainability under one roof. This investment of over 100 crore rupees underscores Mann+Hummel's deep commitment to India's engineering excellence and its ambitious global goals. News9 partners with Mann+Hummel for a series of thought leadership conversations. We're in conversation with Hasmeet Kaur, President Automotive Division of Mann+Hummel. Thank you so much for speaking to us, Hasmeet. It's a momentous occasion for Mann+Hummel, the first global technology and innovation center that has been launched in India, and this also means an investment in excess of 100 crore rupees by Mann+Hummel into India, isn't it?
That's correct. And this is a very important milestone in the future of Mann+Hummel. We in Mann+Hummel have a very clear philosophy that our mission is to separate the useful from the harmful, and we are global leaders in filtration. With that, we also recognize entirely that with our global competence and our global leadership in innovation, we still have to be extremely close to our customers. The closer we are, the better we understand and the more we can be customer-centric. And this is a key step for us to be closer to our Indian customer base. So with this center, we want to innovate in India for the Indian customers, but at the same time, we also see it as a key innovation center for the Asian market. So India for the global market as well.
Hello and a very good morning. Thank you to all those who've taken time out to be here in Tumkuru in Karnataka for this momentous occasion. I am Krishna Kumar from the TV9 network. It's my pleasure and my privilege to be here to witness this, to be a part of this celebration. Thank all the panelists. Huge round of applause for all the panelists who have taken time out to be here. Guten Tag, Guten Morgen. Is it time for Guten Tag now? Yes, it's time for Guten Tag now. So Guten Tag to all, the entire German contingent over here. Thank you for being with us. I'm going to begin by asking Mr. Rajkishore a simple, straightforward question. Powertrains are evolving. They're getting more and more complicated. Yeah. Tell us, how critical is filtration now becoming, especially at a time when powertrains are evolving faster and getting more complicated?
Yeah, actually, I'll start from, what is required as far as the emission is concerned from the engines. If I start from there, then I'll tell you what is the importance of filtration there. So as we are going ahead from, say, last BS4 to BS6, the emission standards are becoming stringent. And everybody knows that it is not only the particulate numbers, it is size also is becoming very important. For that matter, see, if we only focus on the engine, it is not possible at all. What is coming in is very, very important. Whether it is air or it is fuel or it is in the form of coolant also, how it's getting cooled, engine is cooled. So the filtration part of it, maybe many people may not be focusing. They'll be focusing on the powertrain to get the emissions in the right track. But what we feel as a company in Tata, Ashok Leyland, engines department, is that before we go to any high-tech engines, we should see the peripherals. Okay, so peripherals are nothing but how we get clean air, okay, out of dirty air which is there available, and we get clean air inside the engine, and we get also the clean fuel, and of course the coolant also will getting filtered. Right. So it always we see if it is the quantum jump that is what is required, then of course the cleaner fuel is very, very important to increase the efficiency, the reliability of the engine. So,
yeah. Mr. Michael Benz, that's where I was going to arrive. But right now, it's not just about filtration, compliance to norms. It's about the overall improving the performance and the durability and the efficiency of the vehicle per se, isn't it?
Absolutely. But let me just start by saying I'm really happy to be here because Hasmit was saying that Mann+Hummel is separating the harmful from the useful, and assuming all of us being here, the useful part, let's get to it. You know, I'm very happy that I'm not the harmful part. But when it comes to filtration, it's a completely different ball game today, because let me just talk about, for example, the oil mist separator in the vehicle. The filtration unit has become an emission control device. 84% of particulate number in some of the engines that we produce today is coming actually from the oil mist separator.
Wow.
So a lot of people don't know that. All of a sudden, the filtration is not just a necessity that we need clean fluids and liquids and everything. And it is becoming an emission-relevant device. So that determines whether we pass or we fail in emission control. So I think it's becoming more and more important as we go.
Okay. Fair enough.
Yeah.
Fair enough. Mr. Madhusudanan, but the question here is, are OEMs, treating filtration with the right kind of, importance that it needs in today's, day and age, or is it still a secondary engineering decision, so to speak?
Okay, thank you so much for having me here, and once again, congratulations to Sudesh and Mr. Fisher as well. And it's a pertinent question, so if I have to answer this is in two parts. So overall, this is, filtration is getting into the core engineering decision making. It's no more a secondary part. But let's take the scenarios into two parts. One is the ICE combustion engines, where air is very much needed for your propulsion and powering the system. So here filtration plays a very critical role, and I'm sure, and I've been closely working with many OEMs. This is getting into their primary decision making as well. So primarily for this reason, the high precision components, which is like your injectors, SCR systems, what happens is that these are really sensitive to contamination, and filtration plays an essential part here. But let's switch the story to, let's say, EV systems, battery EV systems, where it's really not the first consideration yet, I should say this. And that's really a little bit of, design maturity is evolving, that's what I should say. While unlike a combustion system, air is not really mandatory to power the system, but for cooling the systems, the EV systems, you need cleaner air. And the cooling systems are really the battery's performance really can degrade over in a shorter period itself if efficient cooling is not in place. However, if you look at the fuel cell based EV systems, there again clean air is very much essential to the clean air gets into the fuel system, and that's when this becomes really critical. And just to sum it, yes, it is playing a vital role, and it is getting into your primary, considerations these days. I can see that.
Okay.
Thank you.
While talking about OEM, Mr. Manoharan Sundaram, are OEMs still optimizing for upfront cost than the total cost of ownership? Because better filtration leads to better durability, lesser repair cost. It adds up in the long term.
Yeah, thank you. First, I would like to thank Mann+Hummel team for the wonderful event, and congratulations for this Technical Center Innovation Center inauguration. I have visited a few in India, but I hope it will set the benchmark. And also, really fantastic your vision statement. Hasmit presented that useful from harmful. Okay. So that is a really important thing. That is where many, I think we have to bring the awareness. That is some areas lagging, I'm talking about end user. So, industry moved. I am from tractor. I worked in the commercial vehicle as well. So since 2026, lot of migration from the emission side, okay? Technology as well. From inline pump, now we are in the common rail. Common rail is started for 1200 bar, now we are approaching 1800 or 2000 bar fuel systems, okay? So it is a multiple fold technology migration happened in industry, but equally we should educate our customer also. I will answer to TCO, okay? I will touch, okay? The technology is migrating to meet our challenging emission target from coming from legislation requirement. But equally, are we educating my customer? That is a very, very important one thing. We are not customers, okay, to you. End customer is on field. Okay, we should target that customer should be educated. That is activity I participated some my earlier assignment. That is a very, very important thing. Then we can talk about TCO. Okay, so if you'll come to the OEM, yes, I am very sensitive to the cost because I have to sell my product. Okay, I should be competitive in the cost, but my customer is educated, automatically will buy cost increase. Okay, so I will touch that. So why I am touching that, when we migrated, the industry migrated from inline to common rail fuel system, multiple sensors, product cost shooted up. Automatically market down, decrease the market share. If I will take it tractor industry, we already touched 1.1 million vehicles. Okay, last year we completed 1.1 million tractor we sold. The segment we can segregate it below 50 and above 50, okay? Above 50 HP, I was tracking very nicely since 2010 now till now. 2016, it is 600,000 vehicles sold in Indian market, 600 to 650,000. Now in 10 years, we are 1 million, okay? We know it will grow or sustain in this segment. Reason being, this sales is dependent on my mechanization. We need to increase mechanization of agriculture in India. Okay? So the 1 million vehicle is not a magic, it will vanish. No, it will sustain. That is one point. So when we am talking this point, the above 50, when the common rail came, 8.5% shrink to 2.5%. The cost increased, okay? The people try to migrate mechanical side. That is why I want to touch base that total cost to customer.
Okay.
So the total cost to customer is, yes, important, but equally we should educate. When my filtration is good, my engine health will be better. Yeah. Okay? My engine health is better means my beaten life engine durability will increase.
Like they say, prevention is better than cure.
Correct. Yeah.
So fair enough. Point taken. Very well made. Point taken. I'm just going to take this to Hasmeet. Hasmeet, a lot has changed with the move from BS4 to BS6. Phase 2. Tell us, has filtration kept pace with that transition? More importantly, what will the next leap require?
I think that filtration has not just kept pace, but has played a pivotal role in ensuring that we are adhering to these new norms. And when I think about, the role that filtration plays with regards to combining the perfect combination of efficiency, of capacity, and of course managing energy, I think the next big leap comes from innovation in filtration material and filter media, where what the chemistry of the filter media is and how can we leverage that to innovate in a rather sometimes low-cost component, but still offer high-quality performance. I think the second aspect, which we have to definitely consider, and all of you have touched on that one way or the other, is a complete system integration and integration into the OEM design phase, right? So we as suppliers, we cannot separate our design process, our development process from the OEMs, but we have to really work hand in hand. And on top of that, it's extremely key that we work also with a predictive maintenance mindset. There are lots of, we come across on a day-to-day basis, there are lots of new technologies with sensors and with digitalization on how can we preempt certain changes rather than waiting for things to fall apart. And I think these 3 key steps play a key role.
Fair enough, fair enough. I'm just going to put this conversation now into a spot. We're talking about the move of the transition from BS4 to BS6. There's a big green transition we're all in the middle of. And then there is a lot of talk around, filtration and how that's going to be, placed in that context. Mr. Michael Benz, let me begin by asking you, there's this perception that, electric vehicles will not need advanced filtration systems, or, that's the kind of perception that's going on. But then clearly there is no truth to it. Is there?
No, it's actually the opposite, I would say, because, the fluids that we use also in our e-axles, in e-mobility, and I would even call the fuel cell as part of e-mobility, we have to be 100% clean, and these fluids are so-called working fluids. That means they cool, for example, the motor in a very efficient way, and they loop the whole system. So I think it's even more crucial. Then you have to also vent the systems, and also what's happening if there's no perpetrator like the engine anymore, the focus shifts to other parts. For example, brake dust, or for example, the driver and this is something that is really to my heart. We are all coming together here from different companies, and we have one goal: make the life of the Indian trucker better, make the life of our customers better. And together we can do that. As Tata Motors alone, it's not possible. I really have to say, we need our competition, and in this case, the competition is actually helpful and helping us, and together actually we can do that. And for that, we need suppliers that have that same vision that we have. And it's actually okay to make money on that, because that's what we need. And I also believe that the group sitting here we're not only a company, I think we are relevant to this country, because without trucks, without automotive, no construction, your butter will not go into the store. So I think we have this, responsibility for this country. And again, I'm feeling that the filtration requirements in the future become actually much harsher, as I've said. All of a sudden, you're an emission-relevant part, and with the tolerances closing in, obviously the working fluids have to perform as well. And the customers, they don't accept when we change our fluids every 10, 20,000 kilometers anymore. Today, these working fluids have to last 50, 100, 120,000 kilometers in the customer side. And this is also helping as a sustainable action for the environment, that we're not dumping our fluids. So filtration is becoming more important, and there will be more attention to that in the future.
Right. Hasmeet, that's the future, isn't it? More and more specialized filtration systems for different powertrains, specifically electric vehicles, and you can even include hybrid and all the other possible fuels in that basket, isn't it? That's the future as far as filtration itself is concerned.
Absolutely. And, we have all touched upon the future of filtration in changing powertrain. But what's important is the mindset with which we approach this change. This change in powertrain enables suppliers like us, historical suppliers like us, to change our role from being a component supplier to an industry solution partner. And here, if I think about concrete examples, in electric vehicles, of course, starting from the battery, we have a product which is the smoke removal venting unit, because the battery safety is a key topic for all of us. And then how do you make sure that in case of a fault, in case of a thermal issue, how does that venting unit support you in mitigating that danger? The second is definitely related to fluid management and thermal management of battery cooling. We have solutions related to that. What is also quite fascinating that because of the change of the powertrain, there is a switch, because the customer is now more interested in experiencing what's in the car rather than under the hood, right? So the driving behavior is not that important. It's really about experiencing. So smart cabin air solutions become extremely key, but also dry air management systems for the e-axles, but also for the future of mobility becomes important. And lastly, fuel cells we talked about, so I will not repeat it. But again, thinking about this industry solution provider, an electric vehicle is no good without a supercharger. And there are filtration solutions that are required in a supercharger, which also Mann+Hummel does, right? So when we think about this transformation, let's not limit ourselves by saying, there used to be a filter, now there's no filter anymore. It's a different need, and we have to adapt to a different world, which we are totally ready for.
Yeah, it sounds like the iPhone of filtration systems. There's a new need that is figured out by iPhone first, and they have a solution for that as well. But Mann+Hummel does that with the world of filtration. I want to also ask about the fact that going forward, Mr. Michael Benz, there is emission norms that are getting stricter and stricter. How much of a cost burden is it at this stage? As far as compliance with those norms are concerned, at a time when filtration itself is getting more advanced?
Yeah, now Jay Kumar is looking at me, very interested what I'm going to say. But look, every challenge is an opportunity. And we have to take, as industry, we have to take this as an opportunity. I cannot tell you too much what we're going to do, but hopefully we make the engines much better and much more economically. That means there should not be a burden to the customer. And let me just tell you what happened in the last few years. And I'm talking about 30 plus years of experience. The last few years in engine technology has been nothing short than a revolution. And you know what? No one has noticed, because everybody talks about H2, everybody talks about fuel cell and e-mobility. But the brake thermal efficiencies that we have given to the customers are unprecedented in the passenger vehicle side on gasoline engines, but also in the diesel side. And we are reaching now, approaching to 50% BTE on road for a customer. A few years ago, people would have called me crazy and said, Michael, you're out of your mind. And in my previous company, there is this American super truck. The government had to fund a project to actually achieve this with millions of taxpayers' money put into that. And soon our customers will be able to buy that. That means the TCO, together with your filter systems, will come down. And what we are going to do, we are going to take all not necessary, not needed parts away, make the engines much more efficient and simpler, and there should be no impact to the customer. And this is our opportunity. As I said, we have a task to do. We have to bring this country forward. And together, we will be able to do it. Thank you.
We will be able to do it. Mr. Rajkishore, just on that topic again, hybrid, LNG, hydrogen, EV, they're all going to be requiring advanced filtration systems going forward. That's where we are heading towards, isn't it? Whatever fuel, whatever be your option.
Yes, yes. I think you're right, and I touched upon a little earlier also. Even if we are getting away from ICE and we are going anywhere, it could be LNG, it could be battery or fuel cell, whatever. I think it is impossible. I should not say difficult. It is impossible to keep filtration away in any case. And as a small child, I have seen when the carburetor versions was there, filtration, if it is not good, maybe the engine will get seized or the carburetor jet will go blocked. So now that things are over, what I was thinking as far as the innovation is concerned, see, as I told, because the conditions of driving will be different for India and other countries. So what we should do, I mean, it's just a thought which came to my mind sitting here as we go ahead. There should be a control where if the environment is very poor, then the filtration standard has to be improved. I mean, it has to be stronger. And it has to be very well filtration. And suppose we are in a clean air, say in a hilltop or something like that, maybe we can reduce the efficiency of the filtration. I mean, if that is the thing, then what will happen? The overall efficiency of the filtration will increase. And as we are talking, because the warranty period, whatever the customers are asking is high, number of kilometers they are all asking high, and That is their prerogative to ask also, and they will be asking. They'll be asking more and more, and we have to give more and more also. But there is a constant also as far as the cost is concerned, cost input is concerned. So we have to balance somewhere in the high tech and the cost. That is how we will go as the future. But anyway, filtration will go as long as there is a mobility, as long as there everything. So it is one field that we cannot keep distance also. Forget about away. We can't make a distance out from the filtration. So I think we have a bright future, and we have a good technical age as we go ahead. Yeah? Okay. Thank you and all the best to Mann+Hummel.
We're completely out of time over here. Thank you for that. Completely out of time. We have one last. I'm going to take a poll. Quick answers from all of you. We've just got 1 minute left. The question is simple. Will the cleanest vehicle in the future be defined by its filtration system more than the type of fuel? Because we're discussing all kinds of fuels and EV and everything. Yes or no? Do you think the cleanest vehicle of the future will be defined by its filtration system and not by the fuel?
Filtration part, but total finally IC engine, okay? So engine combustion system matters. But see, this is a repeated question. Not now you are asking, it's many years.
I know.
But equally,
that's why I'm taking a poll. Yes or no?
All the aggregates should be good enough to meet. Yeah.
Mr. Michael Benz?
Actually, no, if I have to. And why? Because we will have different fuels in the future. There might be ethanol, there might be biodiesel, and we need filtration systems that are adaptable to this.
Okay. So adaptable filtration systems could define. Mr. Rajkishore Naik?
Yeah, actually, see, I'll tell you, filtration, what it does, it gives a delta increase in efficiency. So if we have a high-tech engine, that will meet, but with the filtration, the efficiency will improve. So filtration is like, additive which you cannot avoid.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hasmeet?
Say it goes hand in hand, so both have a very important role to play.
Fair enough. Mr. Madhusudan?
Just to close, it will not be yes and no question, but I think it will be no. Fuel will still remain major part, but it will be the major part, but it is not the only part.
And that's the defining moment of it. It's not just about the fuel, it will be about the filtration system as well. Ladies and gentlemen, huge round of applause for the wonderful panelists for being with us and sharing thoughts in the most concise way possible. Hopefully we have been able to get the best out of them. Thank you so much.